Hello everyone and welcome to another Modern Burn video. Why am I playing Modern Burn so quickly after I played it last time? Well, this is a slightly different version of Modern Burn that I call Burn, but with selection. What's the difference between a stock burn list and the one I'm playing? Actually, only about 10 cards. So we have 4 Mishra's Baubles, 4 Dragon Rage Channeler, and 2 more Lightning Helixes. We simply cut the Skewer the Critics, we cut a couple of Rift Bolts, we cut a land, and, here we are. So how does this compare to a stock burn list? And for those of you wondering, a stock burn list looks like, well, this. So as you can see here, more Rift Bolts, Skewer the Critic as previously mentioned, 2 Lightning Helixes, and 20 lands, whereas I am currently playing 18 lands, 4 Baubles, 4 Dragon Rage Channelers, which if you're lucky enough to have never known what Modern Horizons 2 is, this is probably one of the best creatures in red right now. It's definitely in contention with Ragavan for the best 1-drop in red. And it essentially is just a 1/1 for 1, but it has so much text on it. Let's read together. So each time you cast a non-creature spell, you get to surveil 1. Surveilling is kind of like scrying, except rather than putting it to the bottom of your library if you don't want it, you put it into the bin. This also has Delirium. Delirium gets activated if you have 4 or more types of cards in your graveyard. Then this thing gets +2/+2 and flies. Now the downside is it must attack every turn. However, with Modern Horizon cards, and this goes all the way back to Modern Horizons 1, the downsides are just telling you how to win the game. Dragon Rage Channeler. Don't block with me, attack, you'll win! 4 Mishra's Baubles, they activate Dragon Rage Channeler. They also allow us to get some card drawn to take some air out of our deck. Also, because most of our spells are instants, if we're trying to take someone out, we can draw the answer on upkeep before our opponent goes to their draw step, and we can just kill them that way. They also activate the prowess on Monastery Swiftspear, which is nice. It creates a moment where Monastery Swiftspear might be a better turn 1 play than Goblin Guide, but we'll see. 4 Goblin Guides. Now, I do play this, and this is like the deck I play in paper, and I started out with 4 Goblin Guides. I now play 2 Goblin Guides, 2 Ragavans. I don't have Ragavans online. Also, this is the exact list when I won probably my biggest competition in Magic ever. Now, don't get too excited. It was a 500 store credit event in Sydney, Australia, specifically Hurstville, for a store that's no longer there. But this is the list where I won, and we had the 4 Goblin Guides. Again, before Ragavan and Darcy used to be the best 1-drop red creature out there. 4 Lava Spikes. Again, you're just looking to burn your opponent out. These decks are very good at dealing 20 damage and not much more, and 3 damage for 1 mana is pretty good. Also, it's a sorcery, which helps the Dragon Rage Channelers. 4 Lightning Bolts. It's burn. Enough said. Monastery Swiftspear. Again, just another hasty little creature that gets bigger and bigger the more you hit people with. And in general, again, just in contention for the best red creatures out there. Eidolon of Great Revel. This is an interesting card to play with where people get punished for playing spells that are 3 mana value or less. If they do, they get dealt 2 damage. Now in Burn, chances are because your spells are so efficient, again, normally 1 mana for every 3 damage, your opponent's more or less at a lower life total than you. This also swings in for 2. It doesn't die to a Fire Ice along with something else. It'd have to target it directly. So if this sticks on the field, chances are you win in Modern because everything's so efficient and most spells are under 3 mana. 4 Searing Blaze. Gotta love removal. Again, most things in Modern do die to Searing Blaze. Really, this is a problematic card against Shadow. It also doesn't do a ton against Control these days, but most of the time it's good enough. 4 copies of Boros Charm, 2 mana for 4 damage. Also, don't underestimate how helpful it is to give your permanents indestructible. Chances are you're never going to use this to give anything double strike, but if your opponent tries to Wrath or tries to take out a creature that's really causing them problems, you can Boros Charm and give your stuff indestructible. So, believe it or not, Boros Charm does have more than one mode. 4 Lightning Helix. This is different as well. So the Lightning Helixes are there because with things like Eidolon, you really want to tip the scales in your favor. This card here is also why you don't want Ragavan to hit this deck. Most of the time with a Ragavan hit, you're like, okay, whatever, you might get 3 damage. But if your opponent gains 3 life, that's actually kind of bad. And finally, 2 Rift Bolts. Again, they're just 3 damage for 1 mana. They're also a sorcery, which is great. Take them out when your opponent has Teferis and stuff like that. The land is very, very familiar. Essentially, you cut 1 fetch land and 1 basic, and you're good to go. So we have 2 Arid Mesas, 2 Bloodstained Mires, 2 Wooded Foothills, and that... And that pretty much does it for the fetches. So you just need fetches that are red. There's no basic plains in here. There are 2 mountains, which as I look at, I'll have to change the art before we go into the first game. And we have Sacred Foundries as well, 2 of them. So that's a whole bunch of fetch lands for only 4 fetchable lands. But because we have the redraws in Mishra's Bauble, and we also have the Surveilling with Dragon Rage Channeler, I find you can actually go down on the land. And especially if you're playing this version of the deck with Ragavan, you get even more mana. So you can really go nuts with that as well. For Sunbaked Canyon, of course, and for Inspiring Vantage. And that's the main. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. The side is really designed to stop your opponent's hate pieces, because while this is burn with exactly 1 trick and 1 trick only, and that 1 trick is indeed Dragon Rage Channeler, you're going to have to stop them from absolutely dumpstering you with their hate pieces. So, of course, we have 3 Path to Exiles to get rid of creatures that are bigger than 3, because once they're out of bolt range, there's not a ton we can do about them. So things like Titans, Omnaths, Gurmang Anglers for Pete's sake, anything that's bigger than 3 and you got to get out the way. Core Firewalkers for things like the Mirror or Blitz decks or red decks in general. Sanctifier Envex, which took the place of Rest in Peace. Most of the decks that are doing graveyard things are black or red, and also having a pro black and red creature can sometimes stonewall entire opponent's decks. 3 Roiling Vortexes. Now, when I won the tournament, this was a Lurrus deck, and Lurrus is long gone, and I just put in another Roiling Vortex. Roiling Vortexes have gotten better and better as the meta has progressed. So you punish people for playing things like Calibrated Blast, you punish people for doing things like the Evoke Elementals, you punish people for any sort of Living End deck, you punish people for that Chaos Red deck. It also stops your opponent from gaining life, and the incidental life damage that it does, the 1 damage per turn, is really good against things like Control. 3 Smash to Smithereens, you have to destroy Chalices on 1. Chalices on 1 will destroy this deck. Also things like Batterskull, or just if you happen to go up against Affinity, replacing the Searing Blazes with Smash to Smithereens is just better. And finally, 2 Deflecting Palms. These are hilarious, and what makes them even more hilarious is that they're correct in quite a few matches. Now, the matches they're actually great for are things like Boggles, but a lot of the times if your opponent is trying to swing out with 1 giant creature, sometimes you can just Uno reverse card them and dome them for quite a bit. Now, this is important because you'll notice it doesn't target, and that's why it works against Boggles. It's the next time a source of damage of your choice. Choosing is not targeting in Magic. The words are very important there. And there we have it. Here we have burn, but with some selection, and hopefully in the future I can get the Ragavans to play it as I've played it more recently. But for now, let's go ahead and hop into some games. Now, a lot of you who have been with me know that when I played the stock burn list, I actually 5-0'd, which is kind of gonna undermine the point I was trying to make with that original video if I don't 5-0 again. So now that I put my foot directly into my mouth as far as, hey, maybe you should customize burn for your own personal benefit, to, hey, play this version because it's fun. It's not as good, but it's fun. Anyway, let's hop into some games. Join me, won't you? All right, our opponent winning the die roll, as all things are good and normal in the universe. Let's see what their first go is. A Gemstone Mine. That's never good. No one does anything fair with Gemstone Mine. It could be Dredge. All right, we draw a Searing Blaze, but that's fine. We can go ahead and go get just a mountain, which is a mountain we still haven't changed. All right, swing with the G Guide. See if we can get some information out of him. Profane Tutor. So this can be a lot of things. This can be the Sliver Cascade deck. This could be just Adnaz, essentially. It's looking like the Sliver deck, though. They're just suspending Profane Tutor? Yeah, no, they just suspended Profane Tutor, so we have a couple turns to try and just deal maximum damage. Mishra's Bauble. All right, well, we'll do that, and then we will attack with the Goblin Guide, see what they got going on. Lotus Bloom. Okay, so this is just Adnaz. All right, we want to draw a card, so we'll do that. I already knew that, but we just want to draw our card, see how we do. A land, okay. They'll probably just suspend the Lotus Bloom. Okay, so we only have so many turns before we just get our teeth kicked in. So we'll go ahead and take the damage and deal them 4 and hopefully find another creature. Mishra's Bauble. Not quite another creature, but we can pass the Bauble, attack our opponent. Another Lotus Bloom. Okay, so we can actually bauble ourselves to see if we should take the damage off of Sacred Foundry. See what's on top of our deck. Lightning Helix. So no reason to take the damage. That, and we'll pass. We kind of just have to hope that they can't go off with Profane Tutor right now. Eladrami's Call, getting the Merfolk? Getting more? Oh no, this is the This is the Morphon deck. So essentially this is the Sliver deck I didn't want to play last week. There's that Lightning Helix we knew about. If they have Sorin, we just die, unfortunately. But let's see if they have it. All right. Oh no, they're gonna go get Sorin with the Profane Tutor, and they have Morphon. Okay, so what's gonna happen here is they're gonna play Sorin, and then they're going to put down Morphon, because Morphon counts as a vampire because it's changeling. And then they're going to put out a whole bunch of 5-drop slivers and kill me in one swing. Neat deck. I just don't... I think it counts as a combo deck. I don't think it counts as a sliver deck, personally. Oh, please hesitate, opponent. Please do nothing this turn, opponent. Oh, you'll love to see it. Okay. So we might just be fast enough with our little silly bolts. Eidolon. Well... that won't actually do it. So we'll just attack with... if Goblin Guide connects, we should be able to get him. Yep, there's another sliver. All right, and now we just try and burn him out. Hey, we got there. All right, going to game 2. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Well, we definitely want Rolling Vortexes because of all their 0-mana cards. Path to Exiles will probably help. That's probably... maybe Deflecting Bomb to be cute. The Searing Blazes do Stone Cold nothing, so those come out. That's real easy to cut. What else is the question? Probably the Rift Bolts if we're bringing in Roiling Vortexes because we don't feel like dealing all that damage to ourselves. Or we could just not play Deflecting Palm. I mean, we got a game to lose. We could see if this just works. If not, we can bring in Deflecting Palm and try and smack them back when they try and deal 1,000,000 damage to us. But for now, let's try this. Alrighty. I mean, it's got a lot of lands, but hopefully the turn 1 Dragon Rage Channeler is just unfair. Speaking of unfair, opponent, what do you got? Lotus Bloom right off the bat. That's scary. Mana Confluence, and probably passes at that point. Yep. They're going to have a lot of mana on turn. Okay, so we have the path, though. I say we do crack the Mesa now. The Foundry. Do this. Turn 1. Oh man, we got a Mishra's Bauble. So what do we find? We find a Lightning Helix. No, we kind of want 1-mana spells, hey. So put that in the bin. We have 3 card types in the bin now. So what do you have going on? An Eldrani's Call. Okie dokie. Well, next turn, hopefully we get to turn on Dragon Rage Channeler and start hitting hard. But our opponent pretty much wins turn 3 now. Or turn 4, I apologize, because once the Lotus Bloom comes down, they're going to have enough mana to do everything. Although there's the Vortex, so now we know what we're doing next turn. That Sorin's a 3-drop, isn't it? So we're taking a risk here that they're not going to play that Sorin. Because if they play the Sorin, then we're kind of Dunskies. Okay, so they can go get Morphon with the Call. Harmonic Sliver. This has a lot more slivers in it than I thought. No, that can go to the graveyard. So Roiling Vortex is just going to get blown up next turn, which is fine. I'm surprised they brought in Harmonic Sliver against Burn. Although, if they blow up our Roiling Vortex, it just turns on Darcy, which is fine. And then, like, after that, Harmonic Sliver is just a 1/1. All right. What do they do now? Oh, they're suspending a Profane Tutor. So we even... Okay. We even get to keep our Vortex for half a second. A Swifty. Okay. So we want to keep 1 white open for the sake of Path to Exile. But in the meantime, we'll do as much as we can. No matter what we surveil, Goblin Guide. Yeah, we can keep Goblin Guide. In case one of our creatures dies next turn, the Prowess Trigger goes off, the Lava Spike goes in the bin, we suddenly have Delirium, Hooray, and we come screaming in for 5. They're also going to take quite the damage off of Roiling Vortex, because that Lotus Bloom's going to dome them for 5. All right, our opponent, if you're going to do something about the Vortex, you have to do it now before you get dealt 5. Okay. I mean, how many people would play Black Lotus if it dealt you 5 damage when it came in on the first turn? All right, there's the Bloom. So if they just play Sorin, when they put Morphon down, whenever the first thing goes onto the stack, we just path the Morphon. Because if we get to untap, we get to kill them, which is, fine by me. Oh, nope, the game has ended. And that's an easy win for Burn. On to the next one. All right, we finally win a die roll. Hooray for us. We have no creatures. We're going to try again. We have 1 mana. Oh boy. We might have to mulligan again. Yeah, let's try one more time. Oh, it's our original hand. So glad we threw it away the first time. Anyway, our opponent also mulled to 6. We're going to keep this. We'll put back the land that hurts us and either the Searing Blaze or the Lightning Bolt. We have no idea what our opponent's playing. Let's put back the Searing Blaze and hope they're playing some sort of control. Chancellor of the Tangle. Oh, they're playing... What is that? The one with Grishelbrand is what they call it, I think. I think it's Grishelbrand. All right. Come on, buddy, go off. What they're gonna do now is they play a land, and then they play the Allosaurus Rider, and then they can just turn that into Grizzlebrand. Bard class. They're just gonna put a Bard class out. What does that even do? Legendary creatures with additional +1/+1 counter on them. They cost less to cast. Sure. We will do this. We will go get a mountain that we never changed out from the intro. Hit them for 3. We will hope really hard we draw a creature. And creature. Sunbaked Canyon, the card we put on the bottom of our deck. Cool, Inspiring Vantage, and pass. I feel like this might be some sort of shaman brew. If they're going to try and make the legendary spells this much less. There's Ragavan. Well, Ragavan's going to die. They go for the swing. However, we are burn. We have all sorts of burn options, like the one that deals damage and gains us life. Yeah, dash doesn't do much when it's very dead. More lands! Ooh boy, it must be our birthday. Okay, we're gonna crack this now in case we find a creature. Find a lava spike. No, now that we know they have Ragavans, we're gonna keep up Lightning Bolt to blow up another one of their Ragavans. Opponent plays tapped, not looking to get blown out by our stuff. Okay, so if they have another Ragavan, they can just do it for free now. No, looks like they're just gonna put it through. We're not gonna bolt because we do need to stop Ragavan. We'll just draw Rift Bolt. Okay, well, we're finally drawing like things that do stuff. So we'll suspend this. I mean, we deal 9 damage to them if they have nothing else. So we might as well Lava Spike, because why not? We can still Lightning Bolt if we need to. So we're putting them down to 6 in theory by next turn. Imagine how much better we'd be doing right now if we had a Goblin Guy just smacking them the whole time, or, you know, a Darcy that would have had Delirium by now, but, you know. Meanwhile, if you're wondering what our opponent's doing, so am I. Okay, more Ragavan time, sure. This is why we kept the Bolt. Right, they go for the swing. Seems like they're trying to fake us out by taking a long time to attack. Okay, there we go, finally. Sure, they're saying something along the lines of, aw, man, gee willikers. All right, and it's our turn now. Please draw something that's not a land deck. Oh, we have our Riftbolt. I forgot about that. Yay, Riftbolt time. All right, and we put them to 9. Eidolon. Okay, well, Eidolon can block their 3rd Ragavan, which I'm sure they have, because why wouldn't they? We'll yield through the turn, and we'll see what they do. All right, opponent untaps, has a Windswept Heath. If you want to keep hitting yourself in the face, that's fine by me, because you are still about 2 lands away from Chancellor, because that's not legendary, right? No, that's not legendary. Great. They do have a lot of land, though, and if they just want to tick up Bard class, that's fine. Oh, did they hear me? Are they taking up Bard class? Fury, full test Fury, paying everything to do it. Hey, remember when I said Modern Horizon 2 cards are the best cards out there and you should absolutely be playing them? Yo. So Fury gets us pretty hard. We need to draw something, anything, not a land. Lava Spike. Okay, well, I suppose I wasn't being very specific when I said that. So we knock them down to 5, which means we're still 2 draws away from killing them, which is not great, because they're going to deal us 6 damage a turn with that Fury, or they could just keep it on the block, which is also not a terrible idea. That's the problem with Burn. Once you get Hellbent, you cast 1 spell a turn. You know, there's really no card advantage in Burn. The whole idea is you're supposed to kill them before you get empty-handed, but mulling is what it is. Oh no. Oh my god, they're going to deal us 10 damage? Yup, here comes 10 double striking damage. This doesn't mean Arlen Cord is good. This just means Fury's such a broken card. You can literally play whatever you want, and it will work just fine. So here's their hasty, vigilante, deal me a million damagey creature. Oh my god, deck. Please, please, please draw something useful. Boros Charm. Okay, well, we obviously have to sandbag that. Because if they, yeah, we really hope they deal themselves 1 more damage. If they just deal us 10, that's fine. I realize we're taking a risk here, not killing the Arlen Cord, but they would have killed us in the same number of turns with that Fury. What does it even turn into? Just creatures get +1/+1 and trample? No, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, that definitely seems right. Okay, so that gets up. If they have their own bolt, they get us. If we don't draw a bolt, we also die. Like, if we draw a creature, it no longer helps. They have 2 unknowns in their hand. One is still just that Chancellor that's not doing nothing. All right, we got a 1. Please don't have anything else. All right, and Boros Charm our opponent. Please don't have a bolt. Please don't do it. Please, please, please. Come on. Be a friend. Be a good guy. Be a pal. Okay, it's 1-1. It doesn't get closer than this, guys. And we draw Eidolon. No, we're so dead. Well, they can't cast spells and we can't cast spells. But if they give their thing Fury or Trample, okay, so they can transform. I guess the whole thing is what would be smart is to transform Arlen Cord and to not attack with Fury, because then we're locked. Okay, they're just leveling that up. Oh no! They killed themselves with Mox Amber. Oh, let's see if yeah. No. Eidolon does it. Okay, well, our opponent gave us that win for some reason. Paths seem really good. What else? I mean, the core Firewalkers aren't bad. The Sanctifiers aren't bad. Even the Deflecting Palm is only the next time, so we would still get hit by the second source of damage on the Fury. So if we take the Rift Bolts out, I say if they're going to have elementals, we even put the Roiling Vortexes in, and we take out like 2 Helixes. How much more do we got to take out? 2. Take out 1 Bauble. Again, it's a 0 drop. And then take out 1 Boros Charm. Play it like that. All right. So we find pretty much everything we want. So we'll go ahead and keep. If they turn 1 Ragavan, that's a little awkward, but not the worst. They have a Chancellor of Tangle. Ooh, and they have a Gemstone Mine as well. Oh, did they put us? They put us first. Okay. Well then, that's different. Yes, I'd like to pay 2. All right. So we're gonna give up on the first Ragavan hit, I think, and we're just gonna swing in for 2. Because they're going to have 1,000,000 mana on turn 1. See what they're going to draw. Just a mountain. Okay, well, I say we just swing, because we're burn. We have to do burn things. And burn things involve swinging with Monetary Swiftspear. All right, and we get to draw a path. Okay, that's good. All right, they could just dash Ragavan turn 1 now. They could dash Ragavan and have a mana extra. Ooh, first turn Seer and Pyro. That seems okay. Had to pitch a couple things in the bin. Make some dudes. They got rid of a Fury, really. All right, we didn't draw the land, so we're actually going to Searing Blaze this turn. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can get the Seasoned Pyromancer off the board for free. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter how they block, because the Searing Blaze will take care of it. Yeah, too easy. All right, there goes the Pyro boy. So he's just empty boarded at the moment. I guess once he... Oh, no, he has a green source. He has the Gemstone Cavern with the luck counter. What am I saying? There's another Pyro? General Ferris. Oh, that's what he's doing. And I don't have a Lightning Helix to kill that right now. We find an Eidolon. How doth we wish to do this? I actually say we start our clock as best we can. We play the Roiling Vortex. We get the Prowess up. They're not going to trade the General Ferris for the Monastery Swiftspear because they want all of those 4/4 big old creatures. Looks like they're reading Roiling Vortex, so hopefully they don't Fury themselves to death. Nope, they just take the 2, drop to 13. We have another 6 damage in hand. They're going to take 1 to Vortex. All right, let's see what their multicolored spells are. If they have a whole bunch of those little Cantors, then we just die, because we only have Lightning Helixes to really stop this from happening. Ooh, a Renin 6. Okay. That is a card. So there's our first Golem. So now we pretty much have to kill them with Burn and Burn alone. Looks like they're doing some math on whether they should shock themselves with the fetch land. I really hope they do, because then we're 1 bolt away from just getting them naturally. Again, we got our 2 3s. Okay, please get a shock land. Please, please, please. Ah, no, they just got a basic. Okay, so it looks like they have Bard class. Putting the Forest or the Wooded Foothills back into their hand. Good for them. So they have 1 unknown card in their hand. 1 is a Wooded Foothills, and the other is the Chancellor. Okay, they'll come swinging in for 3, which is fine. Yep, fine by me. At this point, we're just trying to deal you some Damaggio. Yep, we get hit in the face. All right, and we draw another Vortex. I don't think that's it, Chief, if I'm being honest. And we don't even have enough to eat the Golem token and keep going. I guess we could eat the Golem token with Path and then Bolt. That's probably our best move at the moment. So we'll take the Golem token out, and then we'll Lava Spike our opponent. Really, all this is doing is trying to stop us from getting absolutely bodied by 4/4 Golems and allow our Monastery Swiftspear to attack. We swing with the Swifty, put him to 5. So we don't quite have them next turn, but we have them pretty close. Because we got to take 1 off of Roiling Vortex. As long as they don't have a 1,000,000 life gain spell, we should be in okay position right now. Nissa. Ugh. I mean, I dig what my opponent's doing, but at the same time, need 7 lands? Yes, 7 lands, okay. Oh, you really don't want to crack that, buddy. In fact, you probably know you don't want to crack that. Unless you can win this turn. Okay, no, they're just going to put another one into their hand. They swing for 3, which is fine by us. We go to 8, and then we'll go to 7 off our own Vortex. Ooh, okay, so we can just get them. So Lava Spike, knock them down a peg, and Bolt. And that is another W for this here deck. All right, we were playing a Brew, but again, Burn's still a good deck. Let's go again. All right, we got ourselves a match. Our opponent won the die roll pretty handily, and they've chosen to begin with 7 cards in our hand. So we have 2 Eidolons, 1 Dragon Rage Channeler, 2 Bolts. We could probably play with this. So if they have, if they play their, oh, it's Tron. So we need to go fast. If they play Wormcoil Engine, we're just done. So unfortunately, them being on the play helps them a lot, because that means they're going to get a whole bunch of stuff out before our Eidolon comes down. Luckily for us, oh, I never changed the mountains. Oh, good. They're just random mountains from when I drafted. By the way, I did exactly one draft video. I think literally 19 people watched it, and then that was that. So now we do modern videos. Please subscribe. All right. What do we have here? They're deciding to cash in their Chromatic Star, draw a card, looks like Sylvan Scrying. No, it's a Relic of Progenitus. Okay, so that shuts down Dragon Rage Channeler, which is fine. They actually probably think we're on Murktide at the moment, so hopefully they get a bit of a shock when I play Eidolon. Now, if they have Natural Tron, we lose, but we can swing as hard as we want at the moment. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves a Sacred Foundry, probably confuse the heck out of our opponent, and we'll play an Eidolon. This way, if they have the Dismember, they have to snap it off now. All right, perfect. And we take them down to 19. So next turn, if we find a land, we can go Bolt, and hopefully make them crack their Relic. If we don't find a land, then we might just play another Eidolon. Oh, nope, they have Natural Tron, which probably means we're done. Okay, it's just Karn the Great Creator, which probably means they're going to go get Wormcoil. Let's see, what do they go get? Yeah, Wormcoil Engine. Well, that's exactly what we don't want to see. However, there's not a ton we can do about that. We lose our land again. Sure, why not? I don't think we can deal 19 all at once here is the thing. Another Eidolon. Okay, so Eidolon doesn't actually do much at the moment, and the reason for that is they're going to cast Wormcoil next turn. So we kind of want to stop Karn from tutoring again, so we have to hit the Karn with Eidolon, and then we'll go with 2 bolts to see if we can turn on Delirium. So first one we try and do is just the Lava Spike, see what we surveil into. Bobble, I can go to the bin. All right, and now we attack. That one goes to Karn, that one goes to face. And then we bolt, and if we can find something, we can force them to crack Relic, which would be nice, because they're not just going to take extra damage. Yeah, no, if we put this in the bin, that would actually give us Delirium, but they can just get rid of Delirium. So if we keep that on top, next turn we can Boros Charm. I don't think it's enough either way. I think we do bin this. We just kind of play into their hand as far as blowing up Relic goes. If they didn't have Relic, we'd be in a better place right now. But yeah, no, here it is. So they blow up the Relic. Yep. Yupper. Because pretty much next turn they play the Wormcoil Engine, and then each time they swing with Wormcoil Engine, we have to be able to block and kill one of our own creatures to stop the lifelink, but we're in a bad spot. I think everybody knows that. Weird. They've decided they would like to take damage off of Eidolon. Well, I guess they could still, yeah, they still have 6 mana, so they can still cast Wormcoil Engine after doing that. Oh, and they have it, okay, so they just get to do everything. Tron is just out here doing Tron things. Yep, there's the Wormcoil Engine. Good for you. You have a Wormcoil Engine. So the problem now is we don't really have a way to deal them 10 past the Wormcoil, because outside of chumping and bolting our own creatures, we don't really have a ton we can do. At least we found the land, though. So we just have to pass, and we have to bolt. We'll block with, what, the Dragon Rage Channeler, and then bolt the Channeler in case they keep deciding it's a good idea to play, tiny creatures for some reason. There's not a ton we could do about Karn right now. They're going to go get something else, but I kind of have to ignore Karn to the detriment, so here's hoping they just decide to bring themselves lower. I mean, if they deal themselves 4 damage for some reason, we just get to kill them, but I don't think they're that silly. No, they're going to go to combat. All right, we go to blocks. We block with Dragon Rage Channeler. We bolt our own Channeler, dealing ourselves 2 in the process, which is just great. We do get to see what's on top, a Lava Spike. I guess we keep that on top because that kind of gives us our best bet here. Bolt our own thing. We completely fizzle their life gain, which is nice. Unfortunately, I'm counting 9 damage off the top of my head, unless they decide to play something small. They play a Karn instead. All right. Well, we certainly tried our best here, folks. Exile target permanent. They're exiling the Eidolon. Nothing I can do about that. Giving it indestructible wouldn't save it. We know what we're drawing, so we're pretty dead. Let's see if they reveal anything else. All right, well, we'll make you sweat and nug you for 4, but we know we're drawing a 3 damage. Now, if we had 2 bolts, we could have gotten him, but instead we had 2 Eidolons in hand. And once they gain 6, we're not going to win, especially with 2 Karns on the board. So we're just going to go ahead and scoop here. All right, against Tronskis, so definitely paths. Roiling Vortex, what do we take out? I guess Searing Blaze has no targets, so those are easy cuts. Bring in the paths. We definitely want the smashes too. What can we take out for the smashes? Probably just the Rift Bolts. You know what? Let's get rid of one Rift Bolt, one Lightning Helix, and we'll try and just be as painful as possible. The Roiling Vortexes are okay. They stop the Worm Coil, but we're not going to win the game with Roiling Vortexes against Tron, so let's try this. All right, we get to be on the play this time. Okay, so no of our hate pieces, but it's just a good burn hand, so let's see. We'll see how far they mull down. Because again, for those of you who are playing Tron or just learning to play Tron, you have to have really good Tron discipline, which is essentially you have to mull until you can get Tron turn 3. So our opponent has already mulled to 5, which is great for us because we have a whole bunch of damage. Let's see, they start with 5. I have seen people mull all the way to 3, by the way. That's not uncommon. So we have our boy, Mr. Goblin Guide. He'll come swinging in. Let's see what they get off the top. Please don't be a land. Chromatic Star, okay, so they don't get to unmull themselves. And we deal them 2. There's that star we knew about. Okay, next turn we're actually going to play the Eidolon, because it's going to deal more damage in the long run than playing a Swifty out. Ooh, and a path. Okay, so we have something that'll stop the first Worm Coil. So here's our Eidolon, because next turn, if they do anything, it's going to cost a low amount of mana. All right, Sylvan Scrying. So we know how they're going to get their land. It's Sylvan Scrying. But luckily, Sylvan Scrying will deal them 2. Play whatever your second Tron land is. I know you have it. Yep, there it is. All right, they get dealt 2. Pretty much, we're really hoping they have not Ugin. Ugin is the one thing that will just make this a very quick loss for us. A Lava Spike, you say? Well, whatever they do, there's not a ton we could do about it anyway. So we'll Monastery Swift Spear, take our beats from our own creature, and then we will Lava Spike our opponent. Again, take our beats from our own creature. Only way to do it. And we'll swing in for another 6. So pretty much, if they have... Oh man, they get another Urza's Mine. That's... good for them. So we put them to 5, and we really do have to hope that they don't have Ugin specifically. This looks like Karn. Worm Coil. Okay, great. So we take game 2 pretty handily, because we'll just path and attack. Or we could just double bolt. We could double bolt and not show them path. That'd be great. All right, and one more time. All right. So now our sideboard tech is even still secret, so hopefully they don't know about it. Is there anything we want to play now that we're on the draw? Other than the fact that we really, really hope we really, really wish we were on the play here, because as you can see, it's just better to be on the play. But yeah, our guy has good Tron discipline, so he's just gonna mull until he has Tron on turn 3. And yeah, we kind of have to hope we get to either smash or path whatever he's up to. But yeah, fingers crossed. One more. Okay, very similar hand to last time. We have the path, we have lands. We're going to keep this and hope that Dragon Rage Channeler and Eidolon can get us there. Chromatic Stars, so he also has the same start. He did have to... Oh no, he kept to 7. That's not good at all. Another Darcy. We'll play a Darcy, and we'll just pass. Sylvan Scrying, again. Look at him go. Oh, Ancient Stirring, okay. That could still be an easy Tron turn 3. Yeah, because there's the tower. Plays the mine, sure. Okay, so he definitely has it. Definitely has it. I actually don't think Eidolon's the best one now, because we know next turn they're just going to play something massive. Opponent has a stop in our upkeep for some reason. Just find a basic mountain, why don't you? No, we'll play Inspiring Vantage. We're doing fine. So we'll play Dragon Rage Channeler. And hopefully they just kept another Worm Coil engine, and their plan is just to play the Worm Coil engine and pass. That would be great, because that means we just get to path their thing, and we get to keep hitting them in the face. Please don't be Ugin. Okay, Karn the Great Creator. That's fine. They get to go get Worm Coil. Trinisphere. Lame. Where's the fun, opponent? Where's the fun? A bolt. So we'll just go get a mountain. If we just bolt Karn, we can kind of attack, because whatever they're going to do next turn, hopefully, like, at this point, we're hoping it's a Worm Coil, because we have an answer for that. But what's, like, the fastest way through this? Because I guess bolt we can kind of give up on. And hopefully we find another Eidolon with our Surveils. Lightning Bolt, we'll go ahead and bin that. 2 card types in the graveyard. If we find Eidolon, we still get it. The land, I'm happy that's actually not what we're drawing. Only 2 card types. We do get to get rid of their Karn the Great Creator. Okie dokie. And we come swinging in with the Darcys. All right. Well, please don't have Ugin. And the reason I'm so scared of Ugin is that thing just wins the game. We have nothing for that. Looks like they're cracking. Drawing a card. I have to imagine they still have the Worm Coil engine. I don't think they would have gone off without it. Oh, did somebody realize Trinisphere is not a one-sided ability? That's so weird, opponent. Oh man, your own Trinisphere is stopping you from doing stuff. Oh, I feel so bad. Warping Whale. Okay, it's good to see they're just picking off our creatures as opposed to having a windmill slam of something, which is fine by us. Another Warping Whale. Man. Was I so wrong when I didn't play Eidolon? They would have dealt themselves 4 damage there, but oopsie. All right, so I guess we just play Eidolon next turn. Unless we find a Smash. Nope, we find a Darcy. We'll just Eidolon. All right, kneel through the turn. Hopefully they just play Wormcoil and we just get to exile it. Oof, Ulamog. Ulamog, Ulamog, Ulamog. Well, that also gets pathed, but it's kind of annoying that 2 of our creatures disappeared. And the problem is now their Windmill Slams are better than our Windmill Slams. What do we find? Another Boros Charm. Well, maybe later, but for right now, actually, I guess we wait until right before they go to attack to deal with that thing. No, they're just going to go right for it. Sure thing. Now, if they have another Ulamog, we still lose, and we feel bad. Come on, have nothing. Have nothing. They have another one? They have another Ulamog. Ugh, that's the game, guys. We're done. Can't win them all. All right, we had a dice roll off, and we actually won this time. Good for us. All right, let's see. Ideal burn hand. Looking great. Looking all shades of pretty. So we'll just turn 1 Monastery Swifty. We'll just go get ourselves a mountain. And I said I'd change those arts, but clearly I'm not going to because I'm very lazy and don't actually have a ton of time to record these videos. So here we go. It's always good when you start your opponent at 19. Watery Grave. Fancy Watery Grave. Look at that. All right, along with the nice Word of Command art. Fatal Push. All right, we are pod racing. Our opponent took 2 damage to kill the creature, but luckily for me, yep, I have more creatures. Would you also like to Fatal Push this one? All right, yield through the turn. So our hand's full of gas right now, and each time we draw land, it actually just gets a hotter fire, and each time we draw non-lands, it's more fire. We're doing quite well. You know, in before we get absolutely humbled by whatever this Dimir deck is. Opponent is thinking real hard about what they should be doing. Looks like they're trying to pay some... Okay, they did decide just to Fatal Push it. That's fine by me. I got another one in my hand. So, what's your second play, opponent? Shelldock. Ooh, it's Mill. Ooh, okay. Well, we need the other Eidolon in play then. We kind of hope we draw a land. We'll have to hold it, though, for the Searing Blaze to get rid of the crabs that are inevitably coming. Oh, they're... Ooh, they get us. Why did they surgical now and not on our draw step is my question. Okay, so let's use this as a learning moment. If you guys are playing Mill and you're going to surgical something in their graveyard, always make sure you do it at the end of their draw step so that if they happen to have drawn one, then you get to take more than one out. Oh, they didn't get rid of the one in the graveyard? I guess they want to do that more than once? Not quite sure why they decided to let me have Delirium, but I'll take it. Seems like an error on their part. We'll just suspend this. We'll play it slow so that you don't see what we did, and hopefully you don't worry about Dragon Rage Channeler about to do Delirium things. So our opponent is definitely playing a crab at this point, I believe. All right, they have a pretty island. Pretty island. All right, what else you got? Fractured Sanity. We mill 14. All right, so we have Super Delirium now. Oh, buddy. So we Rift Bolt them in the face. No, well... I realize it's silly to do that against Mill, but we kind of need to not draw something. Yeah, see, that was much better. Do this. We'll keep that, because that's not going to be on top of our deck ending. And we'll suspend another Rift Bolt. And then we attack for 3, because we have to. And again, that's a downside of Dragon Rage Channeler. You have to attack. You have to attack and end the game, guys. So they have to kill Dragon Rage Channeler. There's the crab, finally. Which actually means we have lethal now. Yeah, well, I guess they could counter. They could drown the lock. Oh, man, so much mill. So they can do their Shelldock Isle thing if they really want to. I don't think they can mill me for 26 on my upkeep, though. No, Boros Charm is fine. Leave that on. And, please don't have a counter spell. It's just, yep, there we go. All right, game 1 versus Mill. Huh. I almost want to bring in Sanctifier Envec to just exile our own things to blank their drowns. What else do we want? Roiling Vortex gets Archive Trap, and that's literally it. So maybe we bring in the Sanctifier Envex and we take out what? Take out 1 Bauble and 1 Boros Charm. We have our 2 guys there. All right. I mean, we're just as likely to mill them over as to actually draw them, so fingers crossed. All right, this seems speedy, especially if they decide they want to go for the crabs. We have the Searing Blaze, which is good. Although not having the crab turn 1 would be ideal, truth be told, because we don't feel like getting milled that much. Polluted Delta. Oh, they definitely have the crab. Yep, crab boy. Crabby, crabby, crab. All right, well, that'll die next turn, but for right now, we will use our fetch lands while they still can fetch stuff. And Dragon Rage Channeler. All right, yield through the turn. There's the Archive Trap. How many of those did they have? Just the one. Okay. Oh, they gave Dragon Rage Channeler. Delirium immediately. Oh, and our next card would have been the Sanctifier. That's a shame. Drown in the Lock. Ugh. Okay, well, we got pretty dismantled there. They only have 2 cards in hand, though, and we have the removal, so we're doing pretty okay. At this point, we'll just, let's do it this way. Goodbye, Crab. All right, yield through the turn. See what they got going on. Let's see, 4, 8, 12, 15. So we don't have, like, perfect lethal. We're going to kill that crab. Play the Sunbaked Canyon. Die, crab. The reason we're killing the crab as opposed to just targeting them is because I'm hoping they have nothing. I'm hoping their hand is just full of jank, and they are hoping that we go search our deck. All right, so we'll play the Dragon Rage Channeler, and we'll pass. Because that represents 3 damage each turn if it lives. Drown in the Lock. Do we want to save it with Boros Charm? I think it's worth the thought experiment. We could also see what we're going to draw. Sanctifier. No, I want Sanctifier, so we'll put that on top. If it doesn't get milled, it doesn't get milled, but hey, we saved our Dragon Rage Channeler. Hopefully they don't have another piece of removal. If they do, we did that wrong. Oh, they're going to Field of Ruin us and then Archive Trap us. Luckily, there's still a mountain in the deck, I think. Yeah, so they definitely have Archive Trap. Hopefully they just have 1 Archive Trap and their 2 cards in hand are not both Archive Trap. All right, how many Sacred Foundries are in our graveyard? I don't actually see any. So we can play out the Bloodstained Mire. We can cast the Bauble. We're going to leave whatever's on our deck on top. Mishra's Bauble, yeah, leave that on top. And we'll just swing with the Dragon Rage Channeler. Put him to 13. We're very low on cards, though. So we're just going to go like this for now. We still have the Boros Charm, though, to knock him for 4, and then we can knock him for another 3. Hideous Laughter. I think we just die. Yep, we died. All right, game 3. Nothing really I want to change going on here. The Sanctifier is still good to try and blank their drowns. I guess actually we'll take the Sanctifiers out and we'll put in the Roiling Vortexes. Try and stop them that way, and those do a little more damage. Yeah, so I'd love to play first. Yeah, seems fine. All right, if they're gonna have the Archive Trap, they're gonna have the Archive Trap. There's no use playing around that right now. Swifty, yeah, I knew they would have some number of them. Cast the Bauble. See what our opponent's got going on next turn. Fatal Push. All right, so our Swifty is not going to live very long, and we smack in for 2. A Goblin Guide, though. Okay, well, that replaces the Swift Spear we lose. Please deal yourself 2 damage. Yay, Fatal Push. Oh, they're not going to Fatal Push yet. That's funny. A Lightning Bolt. Okay, so this gives them the illusion of choice. We kind of want them to kill the Swifty, because we don't want to get them free cards in their hand with Goblin Guide, but hey, we'll swing and see what they do. Okay, so they get a land, which is unfortunate. We'll see what they do as far as snapping stuff off. Okay, well, you don't want to use the thing yet, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. So we have 9 damage in hand, but we have to do it over 3 turns. Lava Spike. Okay, well, we'll just swing with Goblin Guide. And pretty much now we play the Helixes on their turn when they tap out, or on their end step, to see if we can make them tap out to deal all sorts of damage. Oh, Crab next turn. Crab's kind of annoying. Oh, they are going to kill the Goblin Guide. There's the Drown. Nothing we could do about it. This does leave the door open for this, however. Kapow. So if we find a land next turn, we get to put them to 1. Played the land before they played the Crab. They must have a Tasha or something? Crypt Incursion. I knew there was a reason I wanted to have my own graveyard exiled, you silly, silly person. All right, well, don't think we can go quick enough to kill them anymore, but we have to try. Then again, the cards that replace the Sanctifiers were the Roiling Vortexes, and they're also not here, so fart noises. Hideous Laughter. Sure, do you get us? I got us for 22. They're at 25 now, which is not where we would prefer them to be. All right, suspend Riftbolt and yield through the turn. Now, here's the thing. If they had no further ways of milling us, this would be great. However, a Crypt Incursion, this is one of those things I was telling you about, and we didn't get to see it in the last burn video, where your opponent has so much in store for burn, because it's a known deck. They know what's going on. And yeah, we kind of surprise people with a little bit of tech here and there, but seems like this one's heading for an L. Yep, we go to 0, and that's the game. Fart noises. All right, let's go for another one. Why not? Quick, see how many times you can roll a 1, Brian. Haha, we beat our opponent in the things to roll 1s. This hand is fine, except it deals us a bunch of damage, but hey, we're burn. Hopefully the game is over by then. Bloodstained Mire, cracks it. What do they got? Blood Crypt. into Inquisition, into Darcy. Okay, so this might be Shadow. We're going to kill Darcy, though. We're just going to go ahead and bolt that thing off the face of the earth. Hi, Darcy. Bye, Darcy. Whether it's the Rakdos deck or the Death Shadow deck, we don't want them to have selection. All right, they're going to take a peek at what's going on here. Probably take one of our creatures. Might even be the Dragon Rage Channeler. Take the Boros Charm. Okay, fascinating. There's a Helix, so we have to deal ourselves a whole bunch of damage. Get our 2 Swifties out and go smacking in. Opponent's almost pretty empty-handed. Oh, looks like they have a Fatal Push of sorts. Okay, so it's probably Jund Shadow. Kills that. Or it could just be plain old Jund, actually. It doesn't have to be Shadow at all. I feel like they would have wanted to take a little more damage if they were Shadow. So this is probably just normal Jund. When it passes, interesting. Eidolon. Well, I say we swing first and bait out any sort of removal. I'm okay with this. And then we play a creature that's actually much better. So, yeah, that's looking pretty nice. If they have Liliana, I feel bad. Don't have Liliana. Please don't have Liliana. Oh, come on. Liliana is not your last card. Oh, why? Why is it always Liliana the Veil? Why? Well, we have to kill Lily. Please just make us discard a card. Yay. Okay. So we can discard Searing Blaze. Drawing a land would actually be optimal because we are going to kill Lily. Lightning Bolt. Actually, that's fine. So we get to Dragon Rage Channeler, take 2. Then we get to Bolt, do some surveilling. Inspiring Vantage, that's probably fine to keep. Then we kill Lily with Eidolon. All right, there she goes. Now, Jund has a lot of really good top decks. I'm just hoping they don't find any. They're just going to cast Ragavan, sure. Take him to 8. All right, so with this, getting the Ragavan out of the way actually doesn't cost us much. Helix we want, put that on top. And we just go swinging in. Hit them for 3. We haven't quite gotten them into, oh no, we left a Helix on top and they're playing Ragavans. Oh no. If they get a Ragavan, we just absolutely dumpstered ourselves. Please don't have Ragavan. Don't do it. Oh, Ren and 6. Okay, good. Good. You can totally kill my Dragon Rage Channeler. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. We win. We got it. All right. So, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. All right, against Jund Boy. Is Jund still playing Shadow Spear? I didn't know. They definitely want paths. Sanctifiers even seem ish. What's bad? What is bad? Well, the Rift bolts are only okay. I guess we can just not do Sanctifier, put in 3 paths, take out 1 Boros Charm. Try it like that. Well, this is one of those things where if we draw a second land, we do great. If we don't, we just absolutely get floored. What do we want to do? I mean, let's gamble. We got a game to lose, right? All right, first turn Inquisition, or just a monkey. Just a monkey. Okay, well, that's gonna die. So we'll play this, and we'll just pass, and we'll just bolt as they go to combat, in case I have another one. You can totally swing if you want to. Leave your friends behind. I would continue that line, but I would get content matched. There's a Darcy, that's fine. Darcy is also going to die, this time to a Lightning Helix. And I just don't want them to have any card selection, which is why I'm going so gung-ho against their little creatures. Especially when they missed a land drop. Looks like they expected Ragavan or Darcy to get them out of that. Oof, our opponent seems to be a little stuck at the moment. So because they're stuck, we're just going to go with the Swifty and the Dragon Rage Channeler. I don't actually want to help them draw a land and then something else. I want them to just kind of stay stuck if possible. And if they draw the land, at least they didn't draw a second card with the land. Oh, there's a Fatal Push. Okay, so they're not totally dead. They still have things to do. Just going to play a normal Ragavan. I'm just going to Helix that out of my way. Yep, Helixing that out of the way just seems like the correct move. This is also what you do in the mirror match, is you just deny your opponent creatures. No, I want the land. Zap. So next turn, if they play another Ragavan or Darcy or whatever it is, I can just play the land and Searing Blaze it off. Otherwise, I can play a whole bunch of creatures, which seems pretty nice. Pyrite Spellbomb, sure. All right, so let's play our hasty creatures. So now we're going to let them have the land because we're really pushing our advantage now. Swing for 4. Okay, their next card is Ren and 6, so it's not a land. Take them to 12. Really rub it in that we have lands and they don't. Mountain, get a Dragon Rage Channeler. All right. Our opponent just ran right through their turn. I barely had time to comment on it. Wow. All right, we draw an Eidolon. Eidolon, you say. Well, I feel like they're just going to blow something up, so I'll just attack. They'll probably kill, what, Swifty? Unholy Heat. Okay, well, they get to kill something else as well. They should really Pyrite Bomb, kill Goblin Guide. Okay, that's interesting. I guess taking 3 instead of 4 is just good when, every point of damage counts at this point. Here's my Eidolon. If you want to use any more spells, it's going to cost you. Gotta give it to my opponent here. They're really sticking it out. I feel a concession coming on soon, though, because like they have the whole Unholy Heat now, and the Unholy Heat is like going to deal them damage. Inspiring Advantage. Lamesies. All right, swing with everything. I guess it makes sense to Unholy Heat the Eidolon. Yeah, because it's going to deal you 2 damage either way. Oh, but Eidolon is a oopsie. And with a bit of a whimper, we end this one. All right, guys, 3-2, not bad. I'll talk to you in the wrap-up. All right, I can hear you all. I get it. Stock Burn, better. Dragon Rage Channeler, bad. But honestly, this is just the version of the deck I like better. And as always, when I wasn't recording, it was doing a lot better. But, when we were recording, we lost to Tron, and we lost to Mill. Mill is actually a surprisingly bad matchup, especially if you don't get off to an incredibly fast start. But hey, 3-2, not bad in my opinion for what we were doing here. And again, this shows you that you don't have to play the stock list. You can go out and you can try something silly. You can put Dragon Rage Channelers in your burn list and tilt everybody who believes that burn is a pure deck and should remain as is. You can put baubles where they don't belong, even after complaining for months on about how expensive they were. And yeah, again, I just had fun with this, and I believe this is a fine deck to go out and try and play. Yeah, the 100% tuned burn list might be strictly better, but in my opinion, this is more fun and involves a lot more decisions. So thank you guys for sticking by. And as always, for those of you who have been with the channel for a little bit, know that at the end of every video, I show off something cool. Let me go get it. Now, as anyone who's played this game for more than any amount of time will know, some of the most revered cards out there are known as the Power 9. Now, don't get your hopes up. I don't own any pieces of Power. Most expensive card I own is a Time Vault. However, recently I went back to New Jersey to visit my family, and I found something from my childhood. This. You might ask what this is, and this isn't white. There's a green screen. That's the Mox Emerald, and it's just doing that, which is kind of funny. But this is a little box for your Magic cards, and it has all the official artwork on it. This is from the 90s. So what this is, other than incredibly dusty, this is a box that was actually sold by Wizards at their stores. So anybody who's familiar with Games Workshop knows that Game Workshop has Game Workshop stores. Of course, you can buy Warhammer and all their other products at any hobby shop, but they also have their own stores. Back in the 90s, Wizards had their own stores, and they were in malls. So I actually have a couple of these old boxes, and these go for unreasonable amounts of money now, but it's part of my childhood, and I still like them. So again, this is just a little carrying box from back in the day, and you used to see them all over the place. But they are just so cool in my opinion, because let's see, we got Jester's Cap here, Mox Diamond, Grinning Totem, Chaos Orb. Oh, the Moxes as always, Mox Emerald, Black Lotus, Mox Pearl, Mox Jet, Scroll Rack, and even got me on that one. I know it's from the Urza Saga. I don't know what it is. Somebody in the comments, please tell me what that art is for. But yeah, just another little fun little thing from my giant collection of Magic the Gathering things. If you have a list you would like me to play on Magic Online, please email it to heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. That's heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. If you're getting to this section of the video, thanks. You're the 3% of my viewers that actually get all the way to the end. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Once we get to 500 subscribers, I'll be able to do polls so we can decide what we all play next week, whereas now I just kind of guess in the dark and I see who emails me. So thank you guys very much for coming along for the ride, and I will catch you next time. Later.